So Donald Trump is now considering rescheduling marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And in this video, I have 5 major things to consider about this potentially historic move. First off, what Donald Trump is potentially proposing is restarting the process that former President Joe Biden started over 2 years ago here at this point. And this is something I never thought I would see happen. It seems like Donald Trump can't go through a full speech without mentioning how poor of a president Joe Biden was, how bad of a job he did, etc. So I never thought that he would even consider giving him a win, and this would be a Biden win. Biden started this rescheduling process, so I never thought he would even consider going down this road of restarting the process that Joe Biden started, again, over 2 years ago. So now that Donald Trump is, quote, looking into rescheduling marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, here are 5 important things to consider. Number 1, and unfortunately I'm going to throw some cold water on the whole situation. We have heard this story before, and again, I've probably made a dozen videos on updates of this rescheduling process. Here is us, and here is marijuana rescheduling. And once again, they have pulled that carrot away. It's almost one of those situations, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 25 times, shame on me. So I wouldn't get our hopes up too much yet. That being said, whether you like Donald Trump's policies or not, whether you're for him or against him, I do take his words, and his words meaning action, a little bit more seriously than I do with most politicians. So let's just look at Trump's track record. Again, we're only looking over the 7 or so months that he has been the president again here in the United States. He has signed what I believe to be the most executive orders by any president in this period of time by a lot. He got his mega bill passed. He's actively all over the world trying to stop wars. So when I say that I believe him and take him for his word more than I do with other politicians, I do, but just barely. I still don't think that it's a slam dunk. He says a lot of things that just don't seem to come to fruition as well. But when he says things like he's for marijuana or he's looking into rescheduling, I believe that it is actually going to happen. Again, just a little bit more than I would with a typical politician. Number 2 is if marijuana is rescheduled from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, you will need a doctor's prescription to receive it legally by the federal government's standards. So according to Cannabis Business Times, President Trump describes marijuana reclassification as a very complicated subject, stating that some people like it, some people hate it, and noting he has heard great things about medical cannabis, but bad things about other uses. What needing a prescription means is the inconvenience of having to make a doctor's visit, the expense of having to make a doctor's visit, and the tighter controls and tracking that come along with being prescribed a Schedule 3 substance. Number 3 is that safety-sensitive employees will continue to be drug tested, and those drug tests will continue to include marijuana. Moving marijuana from a Schedule 1 substance to a Schedule 3 substance will not change this because marijuana does affect cognitive ability. And I believe everyone will agree with the fact that if they're on a plane, they don't want their pilot to be high. If they're driving next to a very large truck, they don't want the driver of that truck to be high at the time that they're driving next to it, or any time for that matter. What might change is how the test is performed. So currently, the test is a urinalysis, so a urine sample to check for drugs, including marijuana. Again, I won't rehash all of this, but I've done a number of videos about how much I dislike the urinalysis for drug testing. What may be changing is the inclusion of oral fluid or saliva testing, and that will greatly change how marijuana is detected. So again, I will continue to make updates along the way as that process evolves. Right now, we are kind of in a little bit of a stall. We are waiting for a couple labs to be certified before oral fluid testing can fully be adopted. And that brings me to just a quick reminder that if you do have an upcoming drug test, specifically for marijuana, please check in the description of this video for all of the ways that we help people be best prepared to pass upcoming drug tests, our preferred home drug test kits, and our free, absolutely free masterclass. Number 4 is that states that have recreational marijuana laws will then and will still be out of compliance with federal law. So what will happen to these states? Will the federal government continue to just be, quote, hands off with these states, as they mostly have been for many, many years now? That could be possible. I could also see that with this change, the federal government pushing for all states to have the same standards. So maybe some of the recreational states will actually have to kind of backtrack and become medical states. I can see that with this change and the drug actually being a legal prescription drug, that the federal government may start requiring states to use marijuana only in a medical sense. And number 5 is this is a major departure from Trump's previously stated stance on marijuana. He campaigned on and has stated numerous times that he believes that marijuana legalization should be left up to the states. And he also stated that he would support marijuana legalization in his home state of Florida. So this would be a major departure from that. The federal government getting involved in actually rescheduling marijuana. I guess said something positive about Trump. Before I'll say something a little bit maybe negative about him here is that I believe that Trump also frequently changes his mind. Sometimes it seems like when he speaks, it's just kind of a flow of consciousness. He just doesn't have a filter. And once he thinks about what he actually said, then he may backtrack it just a little bit. And I feel like that's been a little bit of a pattern with Trump. So maybe he's just speaking here. Again, that's why I say we shouldn't get our hopes up too high just yet. All right, so that's just 5 things to consider about the potential rescheduling of marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. What other concerns or questions do you have? Please leave those in the comment section below. Stay subscribed here for updates. And until next time, everybody, stay safe.